heart of Los Angeles stands the infamous Cecil Hotel, a place where forgotten luxury meets unspeakable secrets. Its dark corridors hide a history of tragedy and mystery that grips you from the very first moment. This isn't just a building, it's a magnet for dark fate. Step inside, and you'll find that every whisper, every creak, tells a story you won't want to leave behind. The Cecil Hotel was built with dreams of luxury and modernity. In its early days, it stood as a beacon of hope and sophistication in downtown Los Angeles. Guests once admired its grand lobby and sparkling chandeliers, marveling at the elegance and promise it held. But as time went on, that glimmer of hope was swallowed by a tide of sorrow and mystery. Over the decades, the hotel became a stage for a series of grim events. Whispers of unexplained disappearances, unsolved crimes, and dark secrets echoed in its corridors. Imagine the chill running down your spine as you think of the many souls who checked in with hope, only to vanish without a trace. Each stone and every crevice of the Cecil seems to harbor the weight of untold tragedies, as if the building itself is alive with memories of pain. Guests would later share that the atmosphere in the hotel was oppressive, almost as if the walls were closing in on you. Strange sounds in the dead of night, shadows that moved on their own, and an inexplicable feeling of being watched became common reports. Some even claimed that the spirit of the past lingered here, a silent witness to the building's descent from grandeur into a symbol of urban decay. The hotel earned a notorious reputation not only for the high-profile criminals who once passed through its doors, but also for the countless unfortunate events that stained its legacy. Every corridor and dark corner seems to murmur warnings to those who dare to listen, challenging even the bravest to confront the unknown. In the Cecil Hotel, history and horror share a tight bond, drawing us into a story that is as chilling as it is captivating. Among the many dark chapters in the Cecil Hotel's history, the story of Elisa Lam stands out as a mystery that continues to haunt us. Elisa was a 21-year-old college student with dreams, plans, and the hope of starting a new chapter in her life. Arriving in Los Angeles with bright expectations, she checked into the Cecil Hotel, unknowingly stepping into a narrative that would capture the imagination of millions. Almost immediately after her arrival, things began to feel off. Friends and staff noticed that Elisa behaved in a way that was hard to explain. Her actions were unpredictable, as if she were caught in a moment of deep inner turmoil. The most disturbing evidence came from an eerie elevator surveillance video. In that grainy footage, her movements seemed both deliberate and erratic, as if she were trying to communicate something without words. Was it the reflection of a troubled mind, or was there an unseen force at play within the hotel's oppressive walls? As the days passed, the line between Elisa's internal struggles and the notorious reputation of the Cecil Hotel blurred. Her case became more than just a personal tragedy. It grew into a puzzle that combined elements of psychological distress with the unsettling history of the building. For many, Elisa's story sparked more questions than answers, while some experts pointed to the possibility that her actions were driven by a fragile mental state. Others could not ignore the eerie coincidences. The very same building that had witnessed so many unspeakable events now played host to her mysterious fate. In a place where every shadow tells a story, Elisa Lam's brief life turned into a legend that continues to captivate and disturb those who learn about it. The mystery deepened dramatically when Elisa Lam's lifeless body was discovered in one of the hotel's most unexpected and symbolic places, a rooftop water tank. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, and ignited a media frenzy. How could someone so full of promise meet such a tragic end in a place already steeped in darkness? Investigators found themselves faced with a puzzle that refused to be solved easily. There were no clear signs of a struggle, no evidence of foul play. Yet the circumstances surrounding her death were undeniably strange. Forensic teams worked diligently, yet the reports left many crucial questions unanswered. Every detail, from the position of her body to the state of the water tank, seemed to point to an enigma that defied conventional explanations. At the heart of the investigation was the unsettling elevator footage, a piece of evidence that has since become iconic in true crime circles. In the video, Elisa's behavior appeared to straddle the line between normal and bizarre. Some experts argued that her actions were a cry for help from a troubled mind, while others whispered about supernatural influences or hidden forces within the hotel. The investigation spiraled into a series of theories, each one more puzzling than the last. Some believed that her mental state had led her to an accident that seemed almost staged by fate, while others felt that the dark energy of the hotel had played a more active role in her demise. Every theory raised more questions, drawing us deeper into a labyrinth of mystery and speculation. A labyrinth where every turn reveals another secret, another possibility that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. From here begins a true Reddit story. I just joined this subreddit, and this is my first post. I stayed at the Hotel Cecil back in 2016. It was known as the Stay on Main by then. We decided to spend Halloween weekend there. It was my ex and her 2 friends and myself. We got a 2-bedroom on one of the higher floors. I don't remember the exact floor. The whole hotel had just been repainted. Nothing seemed to be actually remodeled or redone. I had heard prior to my stay that the staff tried to steer away from their haunted reputation by not talking about it and just ignoring it when people brought it up in the lobby. When I was there, we checked in at around 10 p.m. after a day out in LA. We got to our room, and I immediately took my phone out and went to Wikipedia to read about it. Safe to say I spooked everyone out. Besides all of the deaths there, I found it crazy that Richard Ramirez would stay there during his killing spree in LA. I won't lie when I say that from the start, the walls felt like they were closing in that room. We just sat on the beds with the TV on for about 2 hours. Around 12 a.m., when everyone else had dozed off, I was the only one awake. I told my ex I was not gonna sleep that night. I heard someone trying to open the door, twisting and turning the knob and kinda pushing against the door. It was loud enough that everyone woke up. I was like, oh snaps, I think someone or something is trying to get in. We waited a little until it subsided, and then we all crept over to open the door, and there was no one there. We looked around, and we couldn't see anyone in the immediate vicinity. We then saw someone down the hall open their door and come out. My ex asks him if he had been near our room, messing with the door to scare us, and he says, "WTF, I just came out of my room." To me, it was super trippy, but nothing else happened that night. We all got some rest, and then woke up early to leave. I went ahead and got ready first, and headed to the lobby via the elevator, same elevator that Elisa Lam took. My ex and her friends decided to walk down the stairs. Apparently what would have been a normal 5-minute walk down turned into 30 minutes. When they finally made it to the lobby, they said it felt like the stairs were never-ending and that they could not find the elevator. It wasn't until they started to panic that they found it. They never left the floor we were on because the elevator came down from that same floor to the lobby. It seems they got stuck in a loop or a time slip. I was like, whoa, this is nuts. I remember telling my ex, this is the last time we stay somewhere haunted on Halloween. We live in Arizona and have been to some of the ghost towns out here and have never experienced anything like that night and morning. Creepy for sure. This Reddit account adds another layer to the mystery, a first-hand experience that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. The tale of a seemingly endless staircase and an elevator that defies logic sends chills down the spine and leaves us questioning. What is it about the Cecil Hotel that twists our perception of time and space? As we reflect on all these events, one thing becomes clear. The mystery of the Cecil Hotel and the tragic case of Elisa Lam remain puzzles that defy easy answers. There are no neat conclusions here, only layers upon layers of mystery that continue to pull us in. Many believe that the hotel's dark past casts a spell on everyone who enters its doors. For others, it's the personal demons and struggles of individuals like Elisa that create a tragic tapestry, one woven together with threads of misfortune and inexplicable events. The strange looping experience detailed in that Reddit story is just one example of how the hotel seems to bend time and reality, leaving its guests with encounters that defy logical explanation. These chilling events remind us that sometimes the most captivating stories are those that leave us with more questions than answers. Every creak in an empty hallway, every flicker of a dying light, all contribute to a truth that might be too complex or too dark for us to fully grasp. The Cecil Hotel is not just a building, and Elisa Lam's story is not just a tragedy. They are parts of a larger, unsettling narrative about the human need to search for meaning in chaos. This mystery challenges us to consider that there might be forces beyond our control, hidden in plain sight, that influence our lives in ways we can barely comprehend. It forces us to ask, do these strange events have a logical explanation, or do they point to something far more sinister and unexplainable? In the end, the story of the Cecil Hotel remains open, its final chapter unwritten, its secrets still hidden in shadow. Every time we dig deeper, we find ourselves drawn further into a web of unanswered questions and eerie possibilities. And perhaps that is the true allure of the Cecil Hotel, a place where the darkness never lifts, where every whispered rumor and unexplained occurrence is a reminder of the fragile line between what we know and the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. As we leave this story behind, let it inspire you to keep questioning, to embrace the unknown, and to recognize that sometimes the search for answers is as haunting as the mysteries themselves.